Um, so getting back to Pooh Shiesty. Now, there's a dude who just came home from jail, man. I mean, I don't think this dude been home from jail for 6 months. It don't seem like it, at least, right? He came out, he dropped a hit record, doing good. I've been working out to the record called Fresh Out. Um, and he goes and does the most thing that you would see in the TV show or a hip hop movie. You wouldn't think that nobody would do this in real life, right? So this guy here was signed to Gucci Mane from the ATL. Um, I guess he decided he wanted to get out of his contract, allegedly. And according to the news report, it says rapper Pooh Shiesty, legal name Lontrell Williams Jr., one of, was one of 8 people arrested in Dallas, Memphis, and Nashville. Police say they are still searching for another individual. The U.S. Attorney's Office for North Texas held a press conference to share details about the January 10th incident. Now, if you stay up on the current events with me on the daily, if you don't, maybe you should subscribe to the channel and hit the notification button because it'll tell you when I'm live or I drop a video. Uh, in January, remember I did a story on Gucci Man. They was saying that he got robbed, by some rappers or whatever. I thought that took place in Los Angeles, but I guess we'll find out, right? Um, it might have took place in Dallas, right? But either way, they were saying that uh, allegedly that Pooh Shiesty and his people pulled, guns on Gucci Man and they took his jewelry and made him sign him out the contract. That was the rumor back in January. So clearly, I guess the 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 law talked to Gucci Man and his wife possibly, and and questioned them about this, and they got enough information to go on with indicting Pooh Shiesty and the people named in this indictment. All right, hold on. So, 3 music industry professionals, including rapper Gucci Mane, legal name Radrick Davis, traveled to Dallas. Yeah, it was Dallas for a scheduled business meeting to discuss the terms of a recording contract. Davis is only identified in the criminal complaint as RD. The complaint is also identifies Davis record label 1017. Prosecutors say Pooh Shiesty has been signed to Davis record label since approximately 2021. Prosecutors say Pooh Shiesty Williams Jr. and 8 co-conspirators executed a coordinated armed takeover. The other individuals arrested were identified as Montrell Williams Sr., Rodney Wright Jr. Sr. Jr., aka Big 30. So Lontrell Williams Sr. would be Pooh Shiesty's father. Kedarius Waters, Terrence Rogers, Demarion Gibson, DeMarcus Glover, Corday Johnson, and Darian McDaniel. Y'all parents out here be coming up with some goddamn names nowadays. Jesus. Prosecutors claimed the group had a pistol and forced Gucci Man to sign a contract at gunpoint. They claim that the other co-conspirators robbed the other victims of Rolex watches, jewelry, and other valuables. One victim was allegedly choked to the point of near unconsciousness. The victims were eventually ordered to leave the studio and taken to their vehicle. Prosecutors claim that the defendant barricaded the studio door to prevent the victims from escaping, calling Pooh Shiesty Williams Jr. the ringleader of the conspiracy. Williams Jr. was on home confinement at the time of the alleged offense for a prior firearm charge and conviction in Florida. He was released from the federal prison. Yeah, October, December, January. That's why I say he ain't been home 6 months. Uh, he was released from federal prison in October after giving after serving 3 years of his 5-year prison sentence. The terms of his home detention said that he could not commit another federal offense or possess a firearm. He done effed up. He got 2 more years probation. As alleged, 9 defendants traveled to Dallas, Texas to kidnap and rob victims who thought they were coming into town for a business meeting, said U.S. Attorney Ryan Raybold. Instead of discussing business a civil manner, the defendants resorted to violence and intimidation to achieve their purported business objective. For anyone contemplating using violence and intimidation as a business practice, I'm here to tell you that it will be vigorously investigated and prosecuted in the Northern District of Texas. This case also highlights the outstanding contributions of my colleagues across the United States, including the Western District of Tennessee, Middle of District Tennessee, the Eastern District of Texas, as well as the FBI Violent Crimes Task Force and our state and local partners. Police also raided Williams Jr.'s home in Memphis. Pooh Shiesty's father, Lonnie Williams Sr., was among the 9 individuals arrested on April 1st. I know them niggas thought that was a joke. Prosecutors say Williams Sr. helped plan and execute the kidnapping, citing car rental records. They say show Williams Sr. rented the car. They also say surveillance video captured the group near the location of the alleged crime. Prosecutors claim that the alleged suspect posted the stolen goods on social media. Yo, man, did they really think was they watching? They thought they was shooting a music video. Like, did they really think that they was gonna get away with this? Prosecutors say electronic evidence shows Pooh Shiesty at the location of the incident in violation of his home detention conditions and cell phone records and license plate reader data corroborates the travel from Tennessee to Dallas. They also say fingerprint evidence recovered at the crime scene matches at least 2 of the defendants. Yo, man, this case should serve as a warning to others who believe that using violence and intimidation tactics to rob others in our community is a viable way to conduct business, prosecutors said. This case was a partnership between the U.S. Attorney Office, FBI, the Dallas Violent Crime Task Force, the Dallas and Memphis Police, and the Shelby County Sheriff's Department. Strong partnerships with local enforcement are key to reducing violent crime, say FBI Dallas Special Agent in charge R. Joseph Rothrock. The collaboration of multiple agencies ensured the successful audits of several individuals in both Texas and Tennessee, The FBI remains dedicated to investigating violent offenders and holding them accountable. Pooh Shiesty did not immediately return the email request for comment. He was on home confinement for a prior firearms conspiracy conviction out of Florida at the time of the alleged confrontation in Texas. Well, children, let this be a lesson to you. If you think you want to get out of your record contract and you think keeping it real and getting some guns and getting your friends and your family members locked up for something that you know that you're going to get locked up for, there is contracts are made to be broken. If y'all niggas got to take off all these chains and go to the pawn shop or go to the jeweler and take off the watches and liquidate some of that BS jewelry and go put it down on a lawyer, you might could just negotiate yourself out of your contract without going to jail. Like this guy has not been home for a full 6 months, right? Got traction, got a hit record, is getting mad streams right now, right? And he allegedly must have saw straight out of Compton or something and got the bright idea to go try to do what uh Suge and them did to Easy, trying to force them to sign Dre off the label. We see how that turned out, right? And if you're not old enough to know how that turned out, this is why you need to keep your old heads around you and pick their brains for examples of things that you should not do. So now this dude father rents him a vehicle allegedly, and they use the vehicle and doing this, and his father may not even know what they was going to do, right? He probably just be like, yo, I need you to rent us a car, man. We're going to handle some business. And he go and rent the car and get him the car, and look what happened. Now he a co-conspirator in something that he may not had no idea what the hell they was going to do. But now he caught up in it because he rented the car. And for him to not get in trouble, he's gonna have to say, "Yo, I rented the car for them," right? But then people will be like, "Oh, he ratted," you know, he shouldn't have told on the Sunday. Listen, for them to get their conviction, they gotta prove every step of the way. And if they know that the car that they was in isn't their car and that car was registered and rented from his daddy, they gonna pull his daddy in to be a witness to be like, yeah, I got that car for them. And if he don't, he just gonna write his ass a one-way ticket into jail. Unless they can prove that that car wasn't rented for that purpose and they didn't do it. And but for this young man and his friends, he's what they said is like 8, 9 of them. So this is the thing about crash test dummy, right? That's what some people call them. When you hear dudes like Fat Joe and them say, "Yo, I had 100 niggas," right? These are all the guys that are disposable that they don't care or about because you wouldn't put your people that you care about in the line of danger. Nigga ain't gonna hand his moms a pistol and be like, "Yo, come on, mom, we rolling on these dudes."